has had such a huge drop off too. It's kind of crazy to see, you know, from, I don't know. It's just that's just mental to me too. That's actually just a crazy, one of the most insane anomalies on its own. And he still plays, he's still alive, but is just so much different now.
Had a couple crucial rounds over on Cash.
But you know, this being the Mo can be great. Good map for him, everything like that. But how much are they going to lean on Mo? And is that the beginning and end of their strategy?
I feel like it's a lot more so on the CT side, which is not where Gambit have begun. They're on the offensive to start off Overpass here. And we got a quick exchange of frags. Quick flash flurry over towards Monster. Boomich, currently alone on the A site, about to be split upon by 4 terrorists of Gambit. Oh, but he takes down Bondic. That's crucial because it funnels the rest of Gambit Esports in through mid. World Edit wanted a piece of the pie, but he gets completely flashed off of his position. And now with these deep smoke grenades from Gambit, they're going to plant safely, and they should be able to fall back unless Waylander has something to say. But he misses his chance at a perfect flank. They do know he's there now, and he can combine with Winstrike on the retake. That's no doubt. However, numbers continuing to fall into the favor of Winstrike here. Greatly done by Axile. Excellent hold on the bomb site. 3 quick kills for him.
Ridiculous kills from Axile. Obviously, that's a position where sometimes that player gets traded 1-for-1. Sometimes they die without getting a kill. It's a position that the guy in CT is going to be first looking at, can be sitting and watching and holding the angle without exposing himself to anything else, and will most likely get some damage off from. And so for him not to die there is one thing. For him to get 3 kills is phenomenal. Great round from Axile. And it was a good attempt from Winstrike. I like the patience in the 4v3. They even had the big flank going on, but Waylander not hitting that crisp 1-tap. That could have been a big thing. And obviously, Axile going absolutely massive in a moment where Gambit needed him. Helps also to kind of drive the conversation towards him a bit too. He's somebody who has been picked up, has been maybe scouted by Blade. We don't know exactly how he was found.
Right,
and
very young age.
He's a young, he's a young guy. We know that that's kind of what Blade has been good at, has been figuring out where new talent comes from.
Right, the story of Simple, the story of Electronic.
2 players in the top 5. Yeah, I mean, we don't know if Simple's in the top 4. Yeah. Check out Chill TV.
Oh boy, conversion points are there. Mir off to a strong start. He must have heard you talking, Wanders.
Which is good. I'm glad to see it. I mean, the team doesn't look that good to me. They had a competitive go at it on Cash. They had a comeback. There's some good CT rounds. T-side looked abysmal. That's something that I always look to Blade's teams to have at least is really good T-sides. They usually blow it on CT sides. This is a little bit different, maybe in a good way. But maybe it was just a map that wasn't what they wanted. Here it is, Boomich, excuse me. 2K from the stairs, shutting down short control. And Waylander, what the hell? Spraylander, he's just going for it right now. Has absolutely no idea what's in front of him. Hits the headshot.
Swiping all sorts of positions.
What on earth was that? I want to see this guy on Tinder.
Yeah. Eyes closed and everything.
Playing speed rounds.
Yeah. You know, I want to contrast something, though. You just said, you know, Blade's team's normally really good on the T side, but historically speaking, you know, Gambit, they were always a CT-sided team. So maybe they're trying to bridge that gap.
There you go, best of both worlds.
Pull a Valiance, you know, combine the strats. As the birds chirp, Boomich falls. That's Mo at a distance. That's going to open up a little avenue here, a route towards the A site. Quicks on it. Back behind the boxes, teammate moving upwards in Waylander. Not only does he get a kill, but he finds a Molotov. So chucks it deep onto Optimus. He gets fire in response. 30 seconds up, bomb now with him.
Molotov won't affect too much. Can go and patrol a bit, check out the bathrooms. Still 2 players here. And mistakes can be made.
Yep. Quick could miss a shot. Or he takes down Mo. He's got the warning of the shadow. Now Waylander's going to try to sprint upwards, and Quick's done a great job, not only taking down Bomb, but softening up Mo for Waylander to clear. Winstrike immediately on the board with guns.
Vic is dope.
Yeah.
He's dope. He had a really good map last map. Looked super smart, super safe, super patient. Oh my god, just whipped the hose out. Just went full art attack on this kid.
You know, I first learned about Quick because of Tom Biz. Thomas Bismeyer, big fan of him, big proponent. Argues for the guy. And then obviously with that ridiculous run of Quantum Bellator Fire, Quick was a piece of that. One of the 2 surviving members, as I said on Cash, with him and this man, Boomich, 20 years old and dead. Doja finds him as he gets hyper-aggressive through connector stairs. But they've got another trick up their sleeve. Not only pushing Waylander into the water, but going for the boost over sandbags. This is a great way to keep your eyes outside of Monster.
See, you could do a triple boost, right, where you push up against... Oh, did he spot that? He might have. It won't tell them too much, but I mean, it might alarm them for at least a few more seconds. Norbert's prepped and ready. Oh, great flash, though, right between the eyes.
Like a solar flare. Man saw nothing. Waylander as well. Uncomfortable in his position. Flashes continue to pop all around him, and, well, Gambit is near. Mir takes the front line. It's going to be a separate 1 versus 1 if Waylander decides to go for this duel, and he walks right into it. The lying weight of Mir. Pops his noggin and transitions us into the 5 versus 2 as the bomb heads elsewhere. This pressure on B is all a ruse.
Holy smokes, they're making a big rotate here. The time's going to tick down. I mean, they don't know if it's going to be B, but Waylander, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he's going to come back here. There's just some random chance that he could potentially drop the bomb or get a 2K. Instead, we'll fall back totally, and now we'll get locked out of position by Doja. He's got control of Optimus. And they'll call the save, so the rotate's fine. Thought they were pushing it a little bit. You know, 5-2, close to a site.
Yeah.
If they work the way in, yeah, they might have to go up against 2 people, but at least they can take their time. But here they have minimal losses. And bomb plant, and when I say minimal, 0 losses. They've got 5 players alive. Only use utilities, and they also get 4 of the Winstrike players out completely from this round. There's not going to be a buy here for Winstrike. Saving these guns is imperative. So their odds of success next round, and what was that? Okay, no, it was Bondic from back.
Over
okay.
the shoulder.
Didn't think he was even in vision at all, so I don't know how that works.
Would have been the flick of the century. So this is a hell of a start for Gambit. 2 rounds right away, they let Winstrike on the board, and then they sweep them straight back with a reset, keeping all 5 players alive. I mean, that's a perfect storm for a lopsided T-side.
Big match for Mir so far. 8 kills already, 4 rounds in. Early aggression from the CTs out towards A and from the Ts out towards short B. Mir once again into his comfort zone. Now patiently sit and wait. Anti-eco. Molotov to try to flush anyone out playing from the barrels. Mir's gonna spot 1. Might want to stiff a snack. Didn't even realize that Norbert was there. Can't control the spray beyond having no armor.
Just gets skinned alive. Doja playing Rainbow Six. Just gonna fall back up to the top of connector now. A is completely open for the taking. They're starting to figure that out. Moving forward, not with bomb, although it is in tow. Winstrike obviously realizing they left a gaping hole in their defense, and they're gonna try to plug it as fast as can be. They get into position fast enough, sure enough. A just now under question, and Mir very susceptible.
Yeah, he's low.
The USB, sure enough, there it is. Now that's gonna be a second weapon picked up, but World Edits goes down instantly. Nothing else of a hold here on the site. 30 seconds. If last round made us nervous, this one could very well too. But the Ts do a great job of following through. They wide swing onto all the players, clearing the site itself, but Boomich still needs to be dealt with. Doja's gonna plant out of his sight, and Boomich nearly crouches straight past the Opper. Very close, very costly, but it's still around for Gambit.
It would have been a tough 1v1, but Mo had very low HP, so even if he got spammed, he could have gone down. Doja had to take that into his own hands for sure. Mir, though, it's been pivotal. Taken out by Boom Bitch there, and this is all close. There's so many moments where the momentum could swing back into the favor of Winstrike, but we've got kind of looking like cash at the moment for Gambit, where they're starting to peel away with it. Get another eco on their hands. No way. Oh, I thought he hit that.
Still being proactive, at least. You know, this is something Winstrike got props for on Cash. Kind of poking and prodding Gambit, even if they were the smaller dog. Still trying with their best efforts. That's a crucial dink. Exile down to 4 HP. Doja. He's getting spammed at through walls, but he's safe. Just tuck himself away. He's got a teammate to come help in both Bondic and the very tagged Exile. It's 3 terrorists inside of the short water. 3 CTs soon to be at B. Got Boomich rotating downwards.
I didn't know you could wallbang from that. Is that a thing?
From down in the water?
From below, yeah.
No. Surely not. Whoops. Oh, World Edit. Crisp.
Oh my god.
And
It's not
another?
over. It's not over.
Doja's tagged up. World Edit made him just taking damage through the wall, but this would be a hell of a deagle play.
Oh my god.
Got it.
No way.
World Edit with the reconstructive surgery, 3 dig headshots, and again, we find the boys on Winstrike with a ridiculous eco round win.
He didn't even care that much. He's like, yeah, that just happened. Holy smokes, what are these shots? Those were all just like pixel headshots. That was not easy. Dude.
And the fact that Doja tags him down to 10 HP as well. You know, he's wallbanging him through the side of that ramp cover. Across these 2 series, this is the 3rd near full eco win that Winstrike have decided to pull out. It's the reason they managed to get something going in that second half of Cash.
It's maybe the reason they won the second half of Cash.
Would be a crazy way to get into the first one on Overpass.
And it's mostly the tilt. It's just the psychological, the residual psychological effect. The residual negative psychological effect that it could have on Gambit. That, you know, oh, it's happening again. Oh, we lost a round that we shouldn't have lost. Oh, that could have been a free route to 5-1. Oh, their economy is back on their feet. They saved money last round. There's all these things that they've got to think about now. It's just a ton of baggage. It's like forgetting that you fart. It's like forgetting that you had more homework. And realizing you have to do that too.
Right.
You could have mentally prepared yourself to do 4 pages of homework, but if you thought you only had 2, it's so much harder to do the second 2 pages.
Yeah, that's why you just wait till you get to school and you just copy a friend. You know?
Drop out and go into esports.
Yeah. Feels too relevant, man. Here comes Waylander. Holding off on the B site, loses his teammate by his side. I appreciate that joke because you're making fun of yourself at the same time. You know?
No, this is very serious.
It is, in fact. Winner of this going to meet Avantgarde in a best of 3 to qualify for IEM Katowice 2019.
Oh, that's a shot. Oh. I mean, he's got to, you know, stop jumping. Otherwise, he'll have some inaccuracy. At least they know that, that there's a player indoor watching short. Looks like it's influencing the rotation somewhat. I don't think Vic has the thought to move quite yet, but he's kind of back in CT spawn. Boomich might be the man of the hour. AK here patrolling between long and bathrooms, and he spotted a couple of people.
Saw Exile being tagged up through the flames as well, but just barely gets away with the dual 1. World Edit. Excellent. Up close on the op. Here's the footsteps. Blasts back Doja 2 seconds. So Mir's death could have been even worse, but that's another opening for Winstrike.
2 in a row. They won the eco, they convert the next round, they put Gambit on a save. That's 3 from the eco, potentially, if Gambit can't do something as ridiculous as they did. Mir's been good. Patient outside B, holding for pushes, getting results from it. That's been about it. Yeah, not gonna invest anything. Again, Gambit's map pick, so they have an excuse for Cash.
Right.
You might like to see dust too.
That's true.
Blab brought up on the desk.
Bleh. That's my reaction to this pistol round for Gambit, because it's a hard spot to be in. Like you said, all a result of another astounding eco. You know, normally we talk about how experienced teams are the ones that punish you most for mistakes. You know, you can't make mistakes against them because those are the kinds of openings they turn around with, but it's been Winstrike to do it now 3 times across these first 2 maps. Gambit slipping up and being punished for it.
They're going to try something sneaky. Bomb just comes back. They just said, screw it, let's go to A. World Edit can hang out at long, off the cross here, crossfire with his teammate. Suddenly, the bomb coming back is like, what have I done? Exile. Goes out early too. Tie score. It's Winstrike. Bring it back off the back of an eco. And here's a round where Gambit can buy, but Mo can't op. I don't know if he wants to on T side. That's also a question he'll have to answer. I would anticipate some of the rounds he might want to have it, but it's totally reasonable to not use the op on T side. It makes it a lot easier to clear out bathrooms and to take peeks on Dicebox. You know, to walk up long and clear out bank if you have an op yourself. So much safer to gain that ground. Also, the choke point that is the A site is so wide, 2 smokes wide.
Yep.
So you don't typically smoke it out to get close like you would at long. Much easier to have an op.
And that's what we were kind of looking forward to with Mo on the AWP, but World Edit's been doing exactly what we anticipated from the other side sniper. You know, just floating around those dice box, solid 3K next to Optimus Prime. And just to really hammer this home, remember, it comes off the eco, but not only does Winstrike follow up with round wins, they do so with keeping so many players alive that they have shifted their way with momentum. Now they can start taking a few risks. You know, the money's in the bank, lives are expendable, confidence definitely at an all-time high, seeing as they've tied this up as quick as could be. From 1-4 to 4-all.
Oh, interesting Molotov. Let Mir get comfortable in his spot and then push him. They can put pressure on this. I mean, they know he's there. They're probably going to want to spam. And Vic is kind of playing it safe, and Axile actually takes out part of the threat. Waylander can't trade. He knows Mir is hurt. He knows Mir is in the corner. But Mir's got a bodyguard.
That could have been a huge opening for Winstrike. Quick goes in for the kill, doesn't know exactly where he is, doesn't want to just be distracted with spamming smoke.
Here it is, Waylander will take the peek. Flash out to Monster. A couple of targets here for Norbert. He gets some spam damage in and the counter flash is good. It's holding the T's back.
Yeah, they're trickling out finally through Monster. Will catch Waylander. Sure enough, Norbert changing position and trying to fall off into the hands of World Edit, but only Boomich left over. Full HP, flash, and a kit. Doja and Mo ahead. No utility here for the T's, but the bomb is now down as the smoke fades above.
How much is he going to walk out? And will he catch Mo? He does see him. There's 2 fights here. He can win. He's done the damage, and he finds the duel. Doja dies, and he's going to defuse. Are you serious?
Just switching between the 2 targets. Doja was waiting for the walk-up, but he had a chance there. So an easy op moving forward, and that's a robbery from Boomich.
Doja was trying to cover Mo. Mo was worried about the big flank. He's allowed to. He has his teammate right there. I thought Boomich was so far away, there was no chance he'd even be able to get the first shot off.
Axile bailing his teammate out of trouble. Waylander trying to cull down the numbers as the entry came heavy through Monster.
Oh my god.
It's because Boomich, you know, softens up Doja with Mo still having his back turned. Mo not sure if it's graffiti or heaven. And it was that crouch and crawl back from Boomich that just barely gets him out of the shots of Doja. I mean, down to the wire, Boomich taking substantial damage. Good thing he had 100 health to begin with. Now we're right back into the action. Waylander shutting down the Monster push. Boomich swinging squeaky door wide open, and Gambit Esports come to a grinding halt, a grueling stop outside of Monster.
That's tough. That's tough. You're showing your hand here. I mean, again, you know, if you rush Monster, it's a viable strategy. There's a lot of ways to do it well, but you're doing it versus a team that just won 2 rounds. They have lots of money to buy utility. They're gonna probably molly Monster, nade it. It's tough to get the rush out.
And a team that in Winstrike love to play these kinds of aggressive setups down there towards short water. So you should be expecting some kind of close proximity. Go back around. You get that push up between Quick and Waylander. This time it's Boomich by Squeaky Door. You know, they're not just hiding inside bomb sites, Winstrike. They're playing proactive. And that's something we alluded to on Cash as well. You know, poking and prodding Gambit and not letting them get comfortable whatsoever.
Just a nature walk from Doja and Mo. They're relatively out of options. Just a Molotov apiece. They probably talk to each other about this. Situation where you reset yourself. Hey, what do you have? What are our options? What should we try? Either side's going to be equally difficult. No reason for Winstrike to move.
I was going to say the preemptive mollies for sure going to come in. Close player down. Mo with a couple of kills, sure enough, but the Molotov blocks off the push from Doja. He comes in the last few waning seconds, and Quick is already prepared. So 6-4, and Gambit back into the economic dumps.
Yeah, and they might save. Gambit could save. I think they'll probably just half armor, pistol up, try something new. But Winstrike go above and beyond versus the rush. Waylander especially holding it down on Monster was a key factor there, and the counter grenades were great. Oh, Blade's chatting it up.
But unlike Simon's coach, he's not hitting them.
Yeah, maybe you should.
Just let loose.
The first time I watched it, it looked very violent.
Yeah, but then going back, it's just passion.
It just looked like passion.
Right. He laughs it off, you know.
Yeah. Passionate violence.
My favorite. Double op setup out for Winstrike, coming in hot. And sure enough, Gambit by. What's that? How is Doja taking damage? Don't tell me that's a team knife.
I'm surprised. Yeah, it might have been. I'm surprised they even had enough money to buy. Like, they don't have a lot, obviously, to work with. They got the head armor. They got a couple of nades.
Oh, Doja must have dropped down ladder and done it to himself, because he's the connector player now.
You don't take 30 damage, though. Maybe you do.
If you don't touch ladder, I think so.
You take 10 from on train.
Well, gravity's higher here.
I'm not going to ask you why, because I know you don't have an answer.
Thanks, Launders. Good Doja sneaking up. Roll that it's scoped in. He's going to be blindsided if Doja nails the timing.
Matter of timing, for sure. Oh my gosh, that scope. The double scope. Punching in.
Pressure on Monster once more. Gambit ready to hit this B site. Norbert's just floating on the pillar. He's that secondary op in addition to World Edit. He's going to go for one more, and Mo is ready. Mir as well starting to walk up on short. So the trade frags are good. Back and forth each way. Keeps us even keel, but there's an HP advantage here for Winstrike for now. Quick's going to take a bit. Softened up. Gambit, they're going to go all in on Monster. 3 remaining players charge forward, side by side, shoulder to shoulder. And trade frag's still efficient. World Edit's got cover, and he's got even faster flicks. Mir walks in under the back of these boxes, but Boomich ready for the hop up. Bomb was dropped, so you knew he was near with only 15 seconds left.
There may or may not have been a reason for Norbert to like swing on Monster after that. The trade came out right away. It just seemed like there was a, you know, Gambit are being patient when they execute, and that was a little bit of a risk. And then here, some of the trades going down, it's like, oof, it really looks like a situation where Winstrike know what they want to get out of the round, and they potentially blow it by going to take these fights too early. But ultimately, they come out ahead in that 2v2. Feel like it could have gone either way. Gambit will hopefully think about that, contextualize the loss. But now they're going to go out for another rush. But this time, I think they want short control first. A few heads spotted by Kvik, but will the round be successful?
Good nade damage there. Waylander called towards Monster. So far, so good. Utter and total shutdown. Absolute obliteration. Gambit, try as they might to hammer their head into the B site once more, have now given up a doubled score, 8-4. Gambit still looking for an answer, and maybe it comes in this round, seeing as they're back in a bye.
Definitely don't want to throw this T side away. They've employed a few fast rushes towards B that have gotten shut down, and again, the economic damage that they do does matter, even if they don't win. So, I mean, Winstrike will take it. They're getting better and better at holding B. The rush rounds are the most convincing. Kind of the slow creeps in that really seem to irk Winstrike, make them uncomfortable.
A little bit of damage each way.
Here it is. It's like Operation Mirror for Winstrike when they spot that it's a default and he's sneaking out here. He's been pretty consistent at holding, however. Waylander is playing a dangerous game with the smoke. It's about to dissipate. He doesn't know for sure.
Ball top to the deep corner. Here's going to move his feet, even despite not being tapped by it.
Yeah, looks like they want to target it. They don't have stairs control, though.
No, sometimes we have Boomich floating in there, and he's actually inside the bathrooms with eyes on Long, Mo, and Mir. Going to find immediate entry frags here, and both on separate sides of the map. But Boomich is still unknown to the T's. So, oh, the timing looked right. Good on Mo to keep this success rolling forward. Very likely a 5th round now for Gambit, unless Quick can do anything, but Doja's got his head. This is a clean sweep, Mohan. 5 alive for Gambit out of nowhere. All they seemed to need was guns.
Their defaults look good. They're super strong, actually, and it seems like Winstrike, they just get so... They get so itchy for a push.
Yeah, very antsy on these kinds of plays.
And just they fall into the laps of Gambit, who seem to have talked about their defaults quite thoroughly. They're prepared for all of the trades that could come about. And Mir is protected at all times on short. Whether it's by himself, he's good. And when he needs help, his teammates there. They have stairs, making it difficult. But it seems like Winstrike, they see him at short B. They want to attack him. They want to close off his angle, throw the nades, double peek him. But they're too afraid to do it with conviction. They don't smoke off short tunnel. They don't get out there with a flash and run out and swing on his angle. Instead, they throw a nade at him. They see what he does. They fall back. They leave one person there. Mir gets the kill. His teammate comes out like...
Layers of response from Gambit, but...
There we go.
Let's give it him praise. This time caught off guard. Still 3 CTs on short, so the wall bang's good. Doja down.
Waylander gets his revenge.
Boomich ejects out of long. No reason to stay so far away from his teammates, even if it would mean early information. Mo firing shots off on mid. World Edit's gonna find him. Isolated because he had the sound cue. Gives World Edit a bit of a tip off. And sure, Mo could still win the duel. That's not the way this one crumbles. 4v2, 40 seconds left. 14th round of the first half. Gambit, they started off with 4-1 and now find themselves down 5-8. Solid turnaround here from the CT side of Winstrike.
Let's see, last time it was Mo and Doja. Up in the 2v5, Axel and Bondic moving out to the same site in a 2v4. Norbert is perched up outside. Monster has to readjust his aim. Had to aim there to hold, but I don't think that kill will matter all that much. This one could, however.
Yeah, big on Exile. Instead of just going straight for the plant, he uses those last few 5 seconds he has to clear out water, just barely catching World Edit. Or Waylander, excuse me. Up here in the heavens, the op scoped in, and the same can be said for Graffiti. That wallbang just skims by Axel. He is holding on for dear life. Just beneath World Edit is where the first man falls, but Boomich is still working up, and he's got it, of course. 9 rounds for Winstrike. Gambit with 1 attempt left, but a valiant effort there on the 2v2.
Yeah, 2v4 in total. Came close. Yeah, that was insane. That was good composure from Boomich.
I really liked Exile using those last few seconds to clear the water. You know, finding that player on ramp is what gave him a little bit more breathing room. This kill right here.
Yeah, it would have just been a plant for the money if he wasn't able to do that, and he had to run a risk by exposing himself to CT and also taking time to get back to default. But, you know, it's those risks that can pay off, and it's rounds that are important. Gambit, they get another buy. They'll try again. They've only got 5 so far, and this is how they lost Cash.
Cash was an 11-4 CT side to Winstrike. They can't do as good, but only 1 round less. Still, that one did come close in the end. Haven't really been big critics of Gambit's CT side. It does tend to be the offense of which they struggle. And this one, no different. Again, Mir's been isolated as of late. It really started off this half with some successful short plays, but in most recent rounds, it's Winstrike back on top. And a quick boost, a little readjustment with Norbert on the top side, almost finds Doja. But he plays the murder hole well. Murder hole well.
smoke out. Headshot Molotov. I don't think it's going to be too concerning. See nades like that, they're only coming from one person. You don't actually have vision on an enemy. No need to rotate. They also went ahead and spotted out short to see that there was actually nobody there. World Edit moving back to the truck. It's got an enemy at long. It's good that he's being so aware and careful. Now they've got an inkling. The fast flank is out too. This could be huge.
He's actually going to extend wide. Opens himself up to the potential long push, but Waylander's here to help, and it's a solid lockdown. Winstrike have cut it all down to just Mo. 1v3, 18 seconds, and he sees the head spot over. His bathroom's been flanked as well, so even just pushing to the dice box on the plant is going to be a hard enough job. He knows he is doomed, especially now being low, so it's no surprise, folks. 10-5 at the end of this first half. Winstrike again solid on the defense, but can the offense also succeed? That's the question. We'll see you for the second half in a bit. Another convincing start on a CT side for Winstrike, but if it wasn't for the eco rounds on Cash, Gambit would have brought it back. Can they lock down this defensive side? Can they minimize mistakes? Those are the questions we ask ourselves as we begin this second half.
Man, it was an eco round from Winstrike, and they won like 7 rounds in a row on this map.
Yep, very true.
Gambit never recovered, which is not hilarious. It's terrible.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's sad. It's alarming.
I cry every time. Mo, he sees way too many bodies over towards Fountain to stay comfortable at the front side of bathrooms, redirects through the A site over towards the depths of long. Now, by the time he gets here, they're already close, but somebody just jumped, so he should have heard that. He's going to have cover over the shoulder. It's Exile over in the site itself. Even Dosha ready on A.
Clearing out bathrooms, always a good thing to do. It's kind of simple, it can be predictable on the T side, but it's very consistent, reliable strat that you can do pretty much versus anybody, regardless of anti-strat ability. And it makes it hard to tell if you're going to A or B. Here, they'll have confirmation, however. 2 players poking it long. Axel back on the site. Can he hit the shot? Does a lot of damage, but it's not quite enough, and it cost him his life.
Yeah, Norbert drops him. 5v3 as the bomb gets onto the cusp of the site. Bondic distracted by the hands. He wants Kvic's head, but can't quite get it. Finally, T's coming in forward as well, past the plant on top of it all. It's quick to make the difference. 4v1 for Mir. He knows where there's a lot of players at, but he just can't hit their heads. They're being elusive, peeking, crouching, hiding, and then popping back up just to keep him at bay. Bomb halfway gone. No kit on him. Oof. No head either.
When it rains, it pours.
11-5. Winstrike winning pistol could be momentous for this win.
That's got to be so annoying to be Bondic in that situation and see Vic showing his hand, but knowing he can't even shoot at that. Like, that's not worthwhile. Waiting for him to peek, but then thinking, I'm probably going to get pre-aimed anyway, and then losing the duel to him after just staring at him like a bug to a lamp when you could have been doing anything else.
Could have been trying to stop plant, could have been spamming smoke.
Yeah.
That kill's so tantalizing. He just hung it in front of him like a carrot on a stick. Good on Quick to know his positioning. Norbert out from Monster, completely alone. This is a classic. You throw those Mac 10s forward, figure out where the stack is at, and in this case, it's certainly B. So Winstrike transition quickly through mid. They'll be hitting up that A site in no time.
That's it. Tether off quick. They move on to the site. Smoke go, is that a smoke that went over? Maybe it was just to make him a little bit worried. Don't know if he just free-handed it or if he had some kind of crazy lineup, but it seems like he just threw a Hail Mary. But Gambit will not be allowed entrance in. The cover is too high. They don't have the money. Or the guns.
Nor the nades.
Oh.
It's a little something. But it's traded right back, of course. So Bondic and Mir the only true survivors for the moment. Mir maybe wanting to go grab that SMG. It's very easy to survive inside of Bank despite being close, but World Edit, Goomba stops him. Jumps straight on him.
Is there another, do they only have SMGs besides that one AK, or is there a gun that they could upgrade to? Looks like they just...
I don't believe so.
Yeah, so they're just fine. Like, they didn't lose anything valuable.
And now the beauty of this as well is that even with these SMGs, we know the viability of a fast B play, right? It's a genuine option.
Yeah, it works really well on ecos. It's just hard to stop. It's just like a juggernaut coming at you out of Monster. And if you don't have counter grenades, well, I mean, you can try to do one flash and peek with a pistol, but Monster rushes are very good anti-ecos. They're a little bit more volatile. Typically, you want to go long A. It's kind of like the long A on Dusty, a little bit more safe. Back against the wall, long angles.
Good early chip damage on those nades.
I like to see this type of aggression. Mo's going to give it up quite easily, though. And there is the threat that they go A, and he hasn't actually done that much. He's taken some damage. They're going to fall back. They at least maintain presence in bathrooms.
Yeah, they don't fall entirely off. And understandably so, you know, you're not going to let 2 grenades get you all the way back into the A bomb site. Not holding party and instead in bathrooms, I get that. You know, meet them halfway. Give a little, get a bit.
Quid pro up.
Mo focused on long, but sure enough, Boomich making noise. That's going to be his demise. Exile comes in to try to help, but he sees 2 more bodies, and Mo's going to handle this problem on his own. Easy. So it seemed, until he gets pinched. Just like that, it's over on the B site that Norbert finds a push into short.
And it doesn't look like they've made up their mind as to where they're going to go.
Oh, options open with 40 seconds, surely.
Ah, that's big, though. They spam the door and close it immediately. Bondic is going to see that nobody's exited out of the staircase, and that it's most likely going to be he can set up to be a fast flank. It's going to come down to the 2 on the site, but they're going to be ready and clearing these angles carefully. Waylander, can he get this duel? No, he doesn't.
Oh, this is huge. Not only do they have long control for Gambit, but also that hot flank. At any moment could strike from behind. Winstrike, they need clean entries, and that's not going their way either. World Edit pinched in 2 directions, but he burns Mir as he finds Exile. If it only wasn't for Bondic. That flank that was in position the moment they left Connector, sure enough, comebacks to bite them.
This is still a situation where they could buy. I honestly would call this buy at the moment. You know the other team is low. A monster rush could be huge. And you could get the reset.
Yeah, you kept 2 SMGs into this round as well, so you still have that bonus cash behind you.
Something to think about. Don't know if they're actually going to indulge or not. We'll see. No, they've only got pistols. They could have 2 AKs on this round. They didn't even spend enough money to give them a chance to do damage. All the damage they could do here would be huge. Playing it super safe.
Yeah, maybe being tempted by the 6-round lead they have. Just wanting to play that textbook CS, shut it down proper. Mind you, I've seen Winstrike do more with less already 4 times today.
That's true.
So,
and that's the way they saw it.
Yeah, confidence at an all-time high.
Why would we buy and lower our chances of winning?
This far, not going well at all. Unless you are Gambit, of course, in which case this is fantastic. 5 players up, feeding T's into the machine guns, and it's only Norbert left over. Player close.
Unintended side effect, since they have 5 alive. Probably not going to upgrade.
Yep.
2 SMGs next round as Winstrike do pull out a buy potentially. I guess they saved fully on their 2 players so that they could drop because someone's got 3,400.
I hope
now
that it is still able to get an AWP. He was fantastic on the sniper in the first half.
Yeah, he looked awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, he looked awesome. Really liked his opping. And he didn't even get that many multi-frags. His movement just looked really good.
Great positioning.
Super great positioning.
Really calculated in the duels he took. And not to mention, like you just said, you know, the end result is that Gambit, the odds are, don't upgrade. So if there's ever a chance for World Edit to be able to use the op without the worry of being counterpicked by Mo, a player that we kind of highlighted coming into the CT side of Overpass, then the time is now. But oh my goodness, one ump does get chucked away. For what reason? To equip Mo with the sniper. So that freebie op duel I was talking about, yeah, not gonna happen.
Good move.
I like it.
Not too expensive, and they have a mountain to climb in this comeback, so can sacrifice on rounds. Norbert would have taken the liberty of creeping into B almost certainly if not for that Molotov, but there's a high amount of attention from Gambit here.
Great. Knows the flashes are coming over. Does get fully blinded, throws himself inside of the smoke, but Winstrike are just as blind, full white, and stuck inside of Monster. Good job for Waylander, at least picking up another, but Bondic ready to do the same. World Edit alone 1v3. And this, well, this is going to bottom out the funds for Winstrike.
That was very disappointing. That, it seemed like, okay, they wanted to go B, but when the smoke came out and they weren't ready and weren't like halfway through the smoke, just deciding to go over off of a flash, I mean, why?
Yeah.
Like, just...
You're so early in the round.
Just looks so... It looks terrible. And there's so much value in them bringing the round close because of how much money was spent. Like, what is the point of... Why'd you save for that, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Why'd you save for that?
That's the perfect way to phrase it.
They didn't even use... They could have done that same rush. Less grenades, SMGs, and a couple of AKs, and probably would have got the same value out of it. Would have used a similar amount of grenades. Instead, they lose a whole lot more quickly. And yeah, I mean, Gambit are going to be happy about that. That was the round for that Gambit had in the first half that looked kind of equally as foolish.
Yep. Now this is Gambit's chance to start racking up funds for a CT-sided comeback.
Just running through smokes.
Whoa. Good flashbang. Everybody seemed blind for a moment. Exile not going to let them stray too far. As he falls back, he's covered by Mo. Fantastic. Another round whereby Gambit keep all their members alive thus far. World Edit does have a nasty deagle at times, but he's staring ops in the face. Chip damage, sure enough. Good little 3K from Exile. I mean, he threw himself into the works. He took the brunt of the damage. The dirty work is his.
3 rounds of difference. Winstrike could easily slip up if they're not careful. Exile looking good here, very efficient with the rifle, not wasting any ammo. Full buy up one more time. World Edit on the off, no utility to work with, but that's fine. We might have looking to toss a flash, but instead World Edit says, hey, let me pick.
Here's that op duel.
Could happen.
Mo's got a good position for it. I like that Mo is always kind of hesitant about holding that. You know, sometimes I feel like players will get themselves onto party and maybe linger for a little too long. But in this case, Mo sees nothing, doesn't really fancy his chances, repositions, and will serve as an anchor on long A instead.
Let's see if the meta comes down to like the attention to short control from Gambit, or if it's something they'll avoid. World Edit jocks for position with the assistance of a flashbang to push Mo off onto the site. He's going to rearrange the CT setup on A to clear out bathrooms. But he's only so interested. It seems like he's gained enough territory that he's comfortable sitting put now. And they'll flash one more time to make sure that if he is there, he doesn't get a free shot, but he does find World Edit from the bathrooms.
Yep. Quick barrel spotted. Mir gets the fall down frag. Excellent 5 versus 3 here for Gambit. Right in that last 40 seconds as well, you could see Winstrike, they had established that long A control. They weren't going to use it to hit the site, but rather just move down towards B. And Norbert does snick out from Monster, but doesn't get any kills for his efforts at all. 5v2. Turn 4. Boomic has something to say. He even gets himself a second. Poises Waylander into what could be a fantastic 1v3, but there's just so many defenders on the bomb site that Gambit hold the line.
Yeah. Some damage dealt, but they didn't get around. They didn't really come close. They didn't truly come close, unless he got that extra frag, and it would have been an insane highlight 1vx situation. But so far, their T-side's looking somewhat despondent. I don't know if they have a huge plan for it at the moment.
I think that's superior repositioning on the case of Mo. You know, he gets flashed off of his angle long. That was World at his first chance to win the op duel. Repositions immediately into bathrooms. Like, he definitely knew what he was doing. He had a game plan going into that.
Yeah.
Look at the way World Edit just swings so wide into the angle. Mo blindsides him with the op shot, pushes Winstrike back into pistols for the most part.
Yeah, it seemed like they tried to, it looked like initially that they're just trying to clear out long with the op to peek, and then Boomic jumps across, and then he goes and shies Mo off the angle, and they slowly encroach on long, but instead they use that bait setup and they have World Edit go to bathrooms, but Mo, as you said, was one step ahead and decided to start out there. So back on pistols, half by here. Smoke goes up into heaven.
Take note, of course, right? Waylander does go all the way down to 500. He has that armor AK, and he has opened up shop. Can't trade straight away, but Boomic helps him out, and Bondic's caught in no man's land. The damage is substantial, but the numbers advantage is still here in the back pocket of Winstrike. They've got that bomb moving forward, too, under the guise of smoke, so that's an easy plant without a wallbang. Oh, Boomic dodges the nade. No damage done.
Damn, 2v4. How's the money? Might be worth going for this, but they can't spend more than a few seconds. And even though the damage is done, they didn't see where all those bullets fell. They know that there's 4 players, and they don't know who's hurt, and they don't know who's where. It seems like now they're just going to hold fragments for a second, but they're going to turn tail, keep the op, and look to try again next round. Winstrike win a force buy. They saved money this round. They get the plant, and they convert another half buy eco
right, another one
type of round.
These openings that comes out of
in a critical moment.
Yep. Not the first, nor second, nor third, nor fourth, but 5th time this series.
For shame, Gambit.
And Waylander went all in on that. Remember, armor AK as he comes out monster. This was his play. Fully blind on the kill versus Mir. Boomic helps him out, takes a couple shots for his efforts as well, serves as a meat shield and a buffer.
This would definitely be a terrible way to lose. Again, you know, characterize that second half of Cash, and it's like, Gambit actually could have won the map. If that happens twice, I mean, what on earth? We could have gone to Dust too. Gambit would be probably highly favored.
Yeah, arguably so. Winstrike were obliterated on it not long ago. But this map's not nearly over. And Mo does what he does, opping all across the map so far. He goes for that aggressive connector control the second time this CT side. However, for the first time, he opens up shop. Exile walks right into Boomic.
4-4. Fortunately for Gambit, the op's still in play. And Mir showing off what he does on short.
I like to praise players that do this, not only effectively on the T side lurking in short, but then he switches sides and still does the same thing. You know, the best short water player is going to play it on both offense and defense.
Yeah, he knows what Mir would do in this situation.
Exactly. And he's just going to be crouched up, finally starts to move, and in doing so, spots Norbert's shoulder. Good on him. They didn't anticipate Gambit being so far pushed up. You could see the rest of Winstrike preparing with the flash. But because they've shown that utility, Gambit aren't going to go anywhere. They still have an inkling as to this as being a B hit, and that would be right in assuming. Oh, Mir lines up too.
Nasty.
Big multi-frag for him, 23 and 18 at the moment. Again, just shutting down this B round for the moment. Boomich has a chance, but not nearly favored. 4 frags at the end of it, and Gambit within 2.
At least they convert that round, and it doesn't look like there's going to be a full buy-up for Winstrike. But honestly, from what we've seen on T-side, if they can afford 3 rifles, just go for it.
Yep. That was a great flash.
That was dope. And yeah, Amir just seemed fully in tune with where the threats would come and when for that entire round.
I feel like it's safe to say once you get that short water player off, normally you have that at least one man. If ever there's somebody going into short and being flashed into short on top of it, it's because you have more players ready to push through Monster, normally. So instead of getting that 1 kill and then falling back and thinking a 1-man advantage is enough, I love that they keep up the aggression. Gambit playing proactive, poking and prodding Winstrike the same way that they themselves were disrupted. Big individual play, puts him at the top of the scoreboard, 106 ADR.
Did point him up before the map, felt like he's just had a quiet tournament. That might not be totally true, but he hasn't had an outstanding tournament, that's definitely true. And here, this has been a map that's been all about him.
Right, even if the numbers were there for him, it just never seemed to be memorable rounds. This is not the case on Overpass. There have been multiple instances on both T and CT side where he shuts down plays.
Whoa, Waylander fell asleep at the wheel, but luckily Boomich was right there to even back up, and it's 4-4 quickly once again. They're on the move, looking for bathrooms control. 2 full nade sets for Gambit. Oh, he's going to start to deplete his, but they've got a lot of impact damage left over. The 2 HEs, the Molotov to try to delay for time. If I'm Winstrike, I'm going to make sure that they don't have all these nades if I'm going to go for some type of execute. It feels like they're postured up to do that at A.
Boomich may not realize he's standing on death's doorstep. A little shuffling going on here inside of the A site. Gambit continuously trying to make plays. But the execution comes over. That's confirmation. There's at least 1 long. And Mo shaves Norbert off of the push from bathroom. So that's, sure enough, a man advantage. Gambit nearly lining up for the collateral, but World Edit will catch Mo. Bondic, sure enough, pinned in behind the truck. 8 and 14 at the moment, but drops the bomb, looks for the second frag, and deals substantial damage. Boomich still has a chance here, but a very narrow one, and it's closing very quickly. Doja, fast rotate up. Gambit, 12 rounds.
3 kills is something good, but Mo has been a pest at A. Stay alive, he's gotten kills, he knows when to fall back, he's rarely caught off guard, having huge impact with the AWP.
It's just clear that he's comfortable on Overpass.
Yeah, it's great. And they've got Mir on the other side of the map. So now I was really wondering how people felt, if it was going to be the Mo show or if he was going to be the only thing that could work well for them. But if he's rotating to retake B all the time, that's not going to be good. But you've got Mir, who is consistently beast, making the other side of the map kind of just as unfun to try to take.
And that's a huge factor as well. I mean, if you go back and watch Gambit Overpass maps before Mir is on this team, you'll see Mo being used a lot more as this rotational operator. He'll be thrown to the A site, to the B site, like his position was never as secure. Whereas nowadays, like you said, with Mir doing so good at the B site, Mo's constantly here on A. Sure, sometimes it's aggressive up on party, sometimes it's back in the depths, but he never seems to find himself on the other side of the map. That's just going to allow for him to be even more comfortable, really hone in his set of skills here on his dedicated bomb site. But there's a little bit of damage out from Winstrike. They're shaking things up a bit considering it's just pistols.
Oh my God.
Can't forget how many times they've faltered in these moments, but Mo, he's just too solid at the moment. Doja comes in to help, and we're all tied at 13 apiece.
Picking up another op might be nice for Gambit, where if they had that kind of presence on B, they could lose some members, and they wouldn't have to worry so much about rotations. I'm surprised we're not having a lot more attention from them on short control. And in general, it seems like neither team favor going to stairs on CT side, which I'm not calling it out as a problem. It's just a stylistic difference that I think is interesting, because I think a lot of teams really like to do kind of stairs and short crunches, and there hasn't been a lot of abuse of that in this match so far. 13-13, the final moments of this match. Winstrike win it, That's the series. Gambit, if they win it, we'll see another map versus Winstrike on Dust 2. And that could be a very Gambit-favored affair.
Yep, definitely feels that way. Or was Winstrike's loss an anomaly? Because we do know Avant-Garde are pretty killer on it. You know, so questions in the air if we move forward here, and still questions on Overpass, because Winstrike have already created opportunities out of nowhere in this series. So they cannot be written off. They've earned that at the very least. But I have to mirror your statement, Launders. I'd love to see a little bit more B-short control from Winstrike. Want to see them disrupt Mir a bit. I know it's a daunting task, it's a challenge. Someone's gonna have to do it.
Especially if it's the CTs that aren't even pushing into stairs in short B, that's, you know, free map control. I was just wondering why Gambit aren't even bothering with it all that often. Player spotted there in the doorway. Won't say too much. But see, even just making presence can, you know, alarm the CTs enough to throw away a bit of utility, flash to peek something. And all this counts towards your team at the end of the round. Could be a full B execute here.
Yeah, looks like it. A couple Molotovs in. Doja, great spray. Even finds himself the third. Bondic giving cover over the shoulder. World at it alone in a 1 versus 4. Favored, not at all. And he knows that Bondic was close, so he does have a bit of an element of surprise. Sees the shadow, and he does get the spray into the head of Bondic, but he's at a health disadvantage, and he's outnumbered 2. Bomb's on his back at the least. 30 seconds means pressure is mounting.
Yeah, if he gets this kill in CT, he can go to A. But he could also very easily get opt. Oh my goodness.
Should have seen the foot.
Holy smokes. A lot more apparent, obviously, with X-Ray. And,
of course,
you know,
knowing is there.
He's looking as best he can, for sure, so probably just seemed like a prop of some sort.
This was great from Doja. You can see the play from Winstrike, and what do you think about that, Lunders? The smoke grenade there on the kind of shelf, and they just run out short and try to sneak through smoke. But Doja cuts both down.
Yeah, so the value of that is to kill the pit players. They just want to get rid of those guys because now a lot of teams, when somebody executes onto short or onto B, they'll smoke on the site, they'll smoke between the barrels and the pillar, they'll smoke the path, and then the CTs will just sit back in the pit, spam through the site boxes, spam through the smoke, try to catch people on the pillar, just try to not deny the plant since they have to show themselves on either the right side or the left side of the pillar, and then wait until the retake. And so one way to circumvent that is if you have the flashes to run through the smoke, kill them in the pit by shooting them in the side as they're like spamming or reloading or falling back. And it helps when you get to do that after, and then also get the bomb down. It's really weird, you know, Overpass is a map where if you execute on B, you can plant the bomb with the CT that you know is in pit, but there's no easy way for him to kill you.
Combines really nicely as well by pulling the attention away from Monster. You know, so if those short players hit the back line, your barrels player's so screwed. There's nothing they can really do. But seems as though we've got some sort of a delay here. Coming at a crucial moment in this game. 14-13 the score. I mean, to think about this, Winstrike, they were leading 10-5 at the end of the half. 11-4 at the end of Cash's first half. And then they win pistol. They convert for a second. That puts them on a 12-5 advantage. But now, Launders, now we have Gambit winning 9 of the last 10 rounds. Like, even working with such a minimal margin of error, they seem cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah.
Not to mention successful.
Yeah, you know, they're always at risk of losing to an eco. Winstrike did win their half by rush towards B with a split, and they tried to go back to that with that execute, and I actually appreciate that because it seemed like there's something to be said there, but Doja just went bananas. I mean, maybe if Doja doesn't get that 3-piece with the 1 kill through the smoke, they have a pretty solid execute. But he also wasn't blind in that position, and you know, we didn't have enough time to go back and see POVs of who threw flashes, and because there is a specific one for that wall, and if he was turned in the wrong direction and just managed to dodge it. But that's going to happen. They just didn't clear him and didn't get that kill. He was too good.
Yeah, they were emphasizing the run-through smoke so much. You know, you could see that they went all in on the execution. It wasn't an initial volley to try and elicit a response. They had plenty of time if they wanted to do so, right? We're not talking about a 30-second execution. There was a minute left, but they wanted to make it happen. And that kind of, you know, makes me reminiscent of when we started to see them lose rounds back at the beginning of this second half. Remember when they just tried to charge through Monster? They saved for that play, and it just seemed a little rushed. Well, I can't help but feel like this was another round like that. You know, you've got a lot of time to work with, and I can see why maybe they're a little less comfortable here on Overpass because they have a very kind of singular track strategy.
They definitely don't know. It definitely doesn't look like they have a lot of T-side stuff in general.
There's not a lot of layers to them either. You know, like they know what they're doing out the gate, but when things start to go wrong, it just seems a little loose.
Yeah. Also, Gambit CT side is just pretty good. And again, Mo's been great, and so has Mir. Oh, excuse me.
Everyone, even Gambit, just pulling it up piece by piece. But alas, here we go. Round 28, Winstrike down by 1. They come in with a bye regardless. Not everything invested. Bit of a curb purchase. Still enough to make magic happen, most certainly. They opt to go out long A, and they're playing at a huge disadvantage with these pistols. But they do have a lot of utility for not only the execution, a potential after plant. They're doing what they did in the pistol round. They're clearing out bathrooms, getting that long A presence, and just asserting themselves in some sort of map control before they make their move.
Yeah, making a whole lot of noise with a number of people. Unsure here what's going to happen. If it's going to be an execute right behind this, or if they're going to use this to try to bait some attention and then take it down the stairs. We don't know. Looks like they're moving up long pretty fast, however. Boost on the site. No spots, nothing. That doesn't mean he's still not worried.
Exile cannot see at all. He's just going to hold off in the smoke, going to let them trickle past. That does give an advantage to the pistols because they're in such close proximity, but the element of surprise is fantastic. Exile with 3 kills. He lures them in like a Venus flytrap, snaps down upon them, and puts Gambit on 15. Norbert, 1v3, 30 seconds, no bomb, and 5 health to work with. That Molotov's gonna force him straight into Mir's lying wait. Cool, calm, and collected from the newcomer of Gambit.
Nice. It looked like he was taking a bit too long to come out of the smoke, but he seemed fully prepared to do what he needed to after he got out. A couple of teammates died in the process, but they win the round, and they had no idea that he had camped out for that long. So there it is. Gambit securing match point, at least overtime for them now, after having a very lackluster first half. You know, they can now think very fondly of the thought of going to Dust 2 if they can survive these next 2 rounds. Winstrike won't count them out quite yet. They could get lucky. They could come out with something. But it's going to be trying. They haven't won many times. They've only won 1 T round so far.
Norbert's got the first entry. Looking for a little bit more on top of it, but this is all right. A 5 versus 4. It's a decent stance for Winstrike.
Sorry, did I get that wrong? No, they won 3 T rounds so far.
Yeah, 1 outside of the pistol.
Pistol, yeah.
So like
pistol
one actual round. You know, pistol's an anomaly. Gambit going to be given a chance to go for the boost. We've seen T's caught off by this, and it's going to happen again. You've got to be wary of those sorts of plays. I mean, if you're not watching the short push, your eyes should be on that wall. You can see Boomich blindsided. Immediately, we then have Gambit follow suit with an op frag as well. Mo comes down to put in the hard work. You know, never here from the get-go, but called in as reinforcements when needed. And this is what I was talking about when Winstrike seemed to be at a loss. You know, these mid-round situations on Overpass, not nearly as smooth as Cash, but Exile, advantage of a shadow on the angle, gives him a 4v2. 30 seconds, and this play stinks of desperation.
Couple of smokes up. And they're going to go for the boost. They don't have a lot of time to work this, so they can go and spot Heaven. Get shot from... I mean, they could go ahead and try to spot that, at least for the information. It counts for something, I suppose. You've got a lot of people to kill. It's time to move into the site. Yeah,
and in doing so, he's doomed. He knows it. Quick, well, stays true to his name and falls instantly as the last man up. Folks, we've got a 3rd map on our hands. It's a Dust 2 decider. We'll see the analyst desk after the break. Me and Launders will meet you there.